You know, I've been using this old-fashioned coffee pot for more years than I care to remember. Truth is, sometimes you just can't improve on the original. Hi, I'm Grits Gresham. But adding a good scope to your favorite hunting rifle is one improvement that's a big plus in my book. Sure, choosing the right scope and having it mounted properly isn't as easy as flipping a flapjack. Be sure you get the job done right. See the real pro in your community.
The purpose of this program is to point out and evaluate the key characteristics that you should consider when procuring a double-action semi-automatic pistol. This video is designed to serve as a guide for agencies and individuals interested in purchasing such handguns. The terms double action and single action refer to the action of the trigger. On a single action automatic, the trigger performs only one function, the release of the hammer or striker. On a double-action automatic, the trigger performs two functions. It brings the hammer to the full cock position and then releases it. The term trigger cocking is a good descriptive term of how a double-action trigger functions. By presenting information about the various factors involved in choosing a firearm, we hope to help our viewers make an informed choice. Which firearm is best? The answer to that question depends on many variables, such as the use, constraints, and performance levels that are acceptable to the purchaser. The fact is, what is best for you or your agency may not be best for someone else or another agency. We recommend that you take a systematic approach by writing down all of the characteristics you desire in your double-action automatic. Start with the chambering, weighing the pros and cons of each cartridge. Then move to the safety operating systems and do the same. Since not all chamberings are available in all operating systems, it may be necessary to change the caliber of choice if the operating system is deemed more important. After examining the chambering and operating systems, look at the remaining choices and their respective characteristics. Once you have weighed all of the factors, including cost, the best choice for you will become evident. Since new models and variations are constantly being introduced, we've restricted our coverage to those pistols that are in actual production or that are known to be scheduled for production in the immediate future. Unavoidably, some makes and models were not included because they do not have a significant market presence. We've also chosen to limit coverage to pistols chambered for the 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 10mm, and 45 ACP rounds. The marketplace has clearly indicated that the double-action system, or a closely related unique trigger system, is the trend for the foreseeable future. Therefore, our coverage is further limited to the double-action autos and such unique trigger systems as the Heckler & Koch P7 and the Glocks. Many factors have been taken into consideration in evaluating each weapon series. Chambering is sometimes the only major difference from one model or manufacturer to the next. Therefore, you must be aware of the various characteristics of the four chamberings under discussion. This will enable you to make an informed decision on which weapon best suits your needs. The 9mm Parabellum cartridge. Each type of ammunition has its own pros and cons. For the 9mm Parabellum, the advantages are that it has the smallest size and weight of the four chamberings discussed. This allows for its use in the smallest, lightest, and most compact pistols. It also allows for the largest magazine capacity and the lowest and most easily controlled recoil. The 9mm is used in the widest variety of guns and with the largest variety of operating systems. This cartridge size has the widest selection and availability of ammunition, including high-velocity plus P loads. The 9mm Parabellum has a flat trajectory and is available in a wide variety of SMGs and carbines. The disadvantages of this cartridge include its tendency to over-penetrate and become ineffective with full metal jacket bullets. The 9mm is dependent on bullet expansion to give a sufficiently large permanent wound cavity for incapacitation. A too quick bullet expansion can result in insufficient penetration for incapacitation. This round has much less energy than the 10mm. The 40 Smith & Wesson. The advantages of this cartridge include it is available in the 9mm size frame handguns. It allows for a larger magazine capacity than most 10mm or 45s. Even so, it still has the general ballistics of the FBI 10mm or 45 ACP round, typically 950 to 975 feet per second for the 180 grain hollow point. The 40 S&W has a wider and heavier bullet than a 9mm. Therefore, it is not as dependent on expansion to achieve a large permanent wound channel. The recoil from the 40 S&W is relatively mild. This round allows for a smaller grip than the 10mm and 45 ACP in large capacity guns. The disadvantages of the 40 Smith & Wesson include it has a lower magazine capacity than the 9mm and less energy than the 10mm full loads. The 40 S&W bullet weighs less than the 45 ACP load and has a smaller diameter. The 40 S&W is believed by some to be the police round of the future. The 40 S&W is designed as a compromise cartridge. It approaches 45 ACP effectiveness in 9mm size guns and a magazine capacity somewhere in between the 9mm and the 45 ACP. The 10mm auto cartridge. The advantages of the 10mm auto cartridge include it has the highest power of any cartridge suitable for use in normal-sized auto pistols. In fact, the 10mm full load has more energy at 100 yards than the 45 ACP has at the muzzle. It has the flattest trajectory, the potentially best stopping power, and the best potential for armor-piercing bullets. As with the 40 S&W, this wider and heavier bullet is not as dependent on expansion as the 9mm to achieve a large wound channel and penetration. This cartridge offers two levels of performance. One is the same as the 40 Smith & Wesson. Another lies between the .357 and .41 Magnum revolver cartridges. The 10mm auto is the most suitable for use in hunting up to medium-sized game, such as deer or wild pig. It also allows for a slightly larger magazine capacity than the 45 ACP. The disadvantages include a heavy recoil and muzzle blast with the heaviest loads. The 10mm cartridge requires a large 45 size frame and a relatively heavy slide. No compact version is available or is likely to become available. It allows for a smaller magazine capacity than most 9mm and 40 Smith & Wesson pistols. The distribution and selection of ammunition is not as good as the 9mm or 45 cartridge. There is currently only a small selection of handguns available that can chamber this round, and the high-pressure loads are tough on the guns. The 10mm auto is unavailable in submachine guns at this time, except for the H&K MP5. The 45 ACP cartridge. The advantages of the 45 ACP cartridge include it is the only auto cartridge that offers good stopping power with full jacketed bullets. It is the least dependent of all auto cartridges on bullet expansion. Recoil for this cartridge is relatively mild. There is a wide distribution and selection of this type of ammunition. A single column magazine allows for a smaller grip than the high-capacity 9mm and 40 Smith & Wesson guns. With the extremely powerful plus P loads, this cartridge approaches the ballistic performance of the hotter 10mm loads. The 45 ACP rates high in both reputation and intimidation factors. It has a mild recoil, muzzle blast, and muzzle flash with standard loads. A compact version is available. The 45 ACP has three main disadvantages. It has the lowest magazine capacity, a limited selection of guns, and it requires a large size frame.